morning. Good morning. It is terrible here weather-wise. Not a nice day. Definitely a good... it's cold, yucky, rainy. Oh, there are no weather alerts throughout the country right now. None. So that's good. No severe weather. As I predicted a few days ago, I'm going to check if my prediction is still going to hold about this weekend's weather down south in Texas, and other areas like Oklahoma, maybe Arkansas. I want to see how the maps are showing it now before we get into other stuff. It's amazing how I was talking about the earthquakes yesterday morning, and then look, there's earthquakes in Iran. That's just, the timing is incredible. I was talking about that yesterday. It's like, what are they doing? And then what happens? Earthquakes. But anyway, fire, what's going on? Hold on, I'm going to get the pop out for this. And I must do Rumble. So good morning. Let me refresh Rumble. Get the pop out. And that's it. We're good. And good morning to those that may be watching on Facebook. All right. So it looks good as far as severe weather is concerned. There is no active alerts, even though this says 7 alerts. They're not in the severe color zone. This could be just rain and flooding. And actually, that's the first time I've seen that come up. They must have updated Radar Omega. Special weather center. Yeah, this could be Canada. Texas does have something. Could be rain. Could be dry. This could be dry. Fire? What is it? Air quality alert. Air quality alert for that portion of Texas. But otherwise, it's pretty quiet. Here's a front here. There's a front system here. There's another front down here, so we should look at the radar down there. Not much going on at all. Now I want to see how I forecast, which I'm really accurate, to be honest. They're predicting snow where? I gotta look at the maps. Okay. That's good. There's a system here. I see the temperatures up here. They're kind of chilly, being dragged down from Canada. Let's go. Okay, there is definitely a system. Look at the warm air coming up ahead of this system with the westerlies. There's going to be some storms in here. I predicted this a few days ago in Wisconsin, Minnesota maybe. Well, it looks like it's setting up, but the system is way to the north. So how far south will it influence? Good question. There's a low pressure trying to develop here. So like I said, Texas, you need to watch out this weekend. Oklahoma. And that low is not moving that much. So it's going to be a nice, well, I won't say nice. It's going to be stormy, unsettled in here. because you have that Gulf moisture coming up, and it continues to flow up. So they're gonna, and that little low right here, even though it's not well organized, it's just gonna create unsettled weather here for Texas, Oklahoma, storms. I'm not saying severe, and it just keeps on going in the same areas. There's a weak low here. Now this could be more possible severe here with this low pressure here. So you got that Gulf moisture pumping right up. Then the cold air coming up behind it, and now down from the northwest, and then from the west, and then from the southwest. This could get interesting. And this is for Sunday. I would like to see what they're forecasting for them. Oh, look at that. That's a Gulf moisture machine. So yeah, you could see there's a low pressure here. Look at these. Look at the wind coming down from the northwest. Look at the wind coming up from the south. You're going to have definitely storms in here. So this is Sunday. So keep an eye. Good morning, Faye. Iran was causing earthquake issues. It said, what did I say yesterday? It's like weird that I was talking about the earthquakes in Iran. Are they testing weapons? Then Tusi brought it up. And we're seeing more. What are they testing? And you might say, how do you know they're testing? Where's the aftershocks? That's what you should look for. That's not natural. Where are the aftershocks? There's always aftershocks, though weaker, after an earthquake. Where are they? They're testing something. Remember what North Korea was doing? Yeah, we got to watch for El Nino, all that. Yeah. As far as the weather. Yeah, again, don't be... I understand about the seismic activity in Iran. But dig a little deeper than that, Danny. A little deeper than that. I get that. It's a very volatile region for earthquakes. Where's the aftershocks? They don't have the same seismic readings as normal earthquakes. That's the difference. Go look up, do the research. Go to USGS. Dig a little deeper that first. These are not natural earthquakes. They're testing something. What they're testing, God only knows. And a lot of these earthquakes just happen to be near nuclear facilities and other areas known to maybe have underground testing areas. Is that a coincidence? I'm all about coincidences, but when there's too many, things start to add up a different way. And it's definitely getting the attention of many people. I just hope it's getting the attention of our government and our military and intelligence and monitoring what the hell is going on in Iran. Remember the similarities between what's going on right now and in the early days of testing phases in North Korea. You don't have to buy the stories. Do the research. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to convince you, Danny. Do the research. That's all I'm saying. It may not be underground testing, but it sure has similarities. Similar, very similar to what North Korea was doing in the early stages when they were testing underground. So everybody can reach their own conclusions. All I know is, they're probably rapidly trying to develop some kind of a high yield weapon. They're saying, oh, we're going to bring out something really big and surprise everybody. Well, is that just talk? Is this connected? I don't know. But it's sure damn curious. Again, I understand the volatility of the earthquakes in the region. You're still not getting what I'm saying. Or maybe you are and you're just ignoring it. We know this, that that area, that region is constantly having quakes. But, I mean, do you want me to go to USGS and do we want to analyze them? And the difference between a natural earthquake, seismic activity, and a test that has different type of seismic activity on a graph and the reading, you have to do a little bit more research. I'm not saying it is, but it's damn curious. And I would rather believe that it's possible than to be fooled and then they come out and roll out a crazy weapon that they're going to use. I would err on the side of caution rather than say, oh, it's just a normal earthquake. It happens all the time. What if it's not? See what I'm saying? I always prepare for the worst case scenario and hope for the best. Yeah, it's nothing. It's fine. But what if it's not? That's the thing. You just can't brush it aside and say it's just natural earthquakes. It happens all the time there. That's true. But what if it's not? Do we just ignore it? Do we not look into it further? I would. You know what I mean? Common sense. Just common sense approach. It's not about believing the stories or not. It's verifying if it is a natural earthquake or not. That's what I'm saying. Again, North Korea was testing for years underground and had a lot of similarities to what it looks like in Iran right now. Though it could just be a natural earthquake. But you also have to look at related patterns similar to North Korea when they were doing their testing in the early days. And it looked very similar. That's all. Moving on. Moving on. Let's see what else is going on. We're done with the weather. But I would keep on an eye Sunday down through the midsection of the country. Those here in the United States. Keep an eye on your weather, especially Sunday, based on the models I'm looking at. We'll see. All right, now let's see what's new first on Telegram. Good morning, Fire. And I'm sure Tusi will keep us updated on the insanity that's going on in the UK with Starmer and all these people resigning. Oh, gosh. Updates on China when they come in. I'm just catching up right now. Checking some Israeli. Uh-oh, here comes the other side. What's the other side saying? Yeah, we know about that. The planes that now they're like showing images of the planes that were sent to Pakistan to protect them. Some of Iran's Air Force assets are still being kept safe inside Pakistan. So the other side, the regime media side, is putting this out there. They're putting even more. And then an image, of course, of the president, along with business leaders. Elon is there. You know, there's quite a few people. Rubio's there, thank God. Well, speaking of Rubio, there it is. So yeah. So he's arrived in China. It's going to be interesting to see the information and developments that come out of there. All right, Faye, just give me 1 second. I just want to catch up first. Oh my God. That is bizarre. What the UAE is making. Anti-drone cages around their energy infrastructure. Like, that's gonna work? I don't know. They are erecting stuff around the entire perimeter because there's one on the right side of this image. What is this? Allegedly, this is some... Alexa, stop. Allegedly, this is some type of anti-drone caging. So it would hit that before it hits the tanks. That is really interesting. That's an interesting concept idea. I don't know if it's going to work. If it's a higher yield explosive, I mean, that's an interesting little thing. Good morning. What's up, Josh? Don't think you're wrong on earthquakes. Really hope Chinese get involved to stop all of it. Again, Alexa, stop it. We'll see how that plays out with the earthquake stuff. But like I said, I would rather be prepared than caught off guard. Because we're dealing with Iran here. And they have highly enriched uranium. And even Vahidi said, we're going to start... He gave it a code name. We're going to now rapidly reduce our nuclear device. He said it like weeks ago. People may not remember that, but he did mention Project something. They're like on a rapid course to develop something. Think about it. If we said they were weeks away from having a nuke before all this started, the ceasefire has been what, 5 weeks? And do we know that for sure that all the highly enriched uranium is buried underneath the ground? Do we know that for sure? No, we don't. Because even the IAEA report says that. Everybody sticks to that stupid number of the over 400. That is what is confirmed. That does not mean that's all of it. People need to get that through their minds. It's in the report. We don't know what else they have in other locations, secret locations, that they could be hiding. It's in the report. People get stuck with this stupid 400 plus number. That's what they have in highly enriched uranium. No, that's what we can confirm. Allegedly. So people need to stop with that. And it's that you hear it all the time. It's the same narrative, same thing. It's not what the IAEA report said and freaked everybody out right before the 12 day. And in that report, it specifically said Natanz and Fordo. That raised the flags. And that was May 31st. That report came out. What happened a few weeks later? Midnight Hammer? Where? Fordo and Natanz? The two places that were in the report? Come on. You know, sometimes it baffles me. Why would they put massive cages around the entire complex instead of just tanks? Maybe they don't have that at their disposal. Maybe this is a mock-up quick idea just to do something fast. I don't know. That's a good question, Eugene. I don't know. That's a valid question. There are no supporting beams and the cages look like 3-story toes, like the image is fake. We can question that all day long. AI. It's the times. It's just a part of being in this time frame. Is it true? Is it not? Is it AI? Is it fake? Of course. Like anything I show you, and it's coming from the other side, you take everything with a pile of salt. Am I saying that that's 100% accurate? No. How do I know? Am I there? Do I see it in person? No. Can I verify? No. But people need to have more common sense and reach their own conclusions when they see this stuff. Am I going to sit here and say, that's real? Did I see it? Have I confirmed it? Do I see any other evidence? Of course not. That would be ignorant. It would be stupid. But this is what's out there. Yeah, you always got to be expecting unexpected, especially when you're dealing with Iran. Drone nets Faye put in. Oh, Faye, let me look at your link before I pass it up. I don't want to do that. I want to see the link you put in here. Where is it? I know you put something in here. Where is it? Oh, right there. Oh, yes, you were telling me about this last night. I'm going to follow this. I want to follow this because I'm going to read about that. That's a separate issue, but I definitely want to I want to read more into that, what we discussed yesterday. Thank you for providing that, Faye. Just look at the engineering. Ukraine technology, they're putting up 4,000 kilometers of it along the roads. Of that netting? God only knows. I want to see if more information comes out about that so-called caging before. I always like to confirm all that stuff, but this is what's out there. And it's coming from the propaganda arm of the regime. So you must take it with a huge pile. Oh, Jesus. There's still... This is coming from the other side. Sources say that preparations for the grand funeral ceremony of the Ayatollah are in advanced stages. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Iran targeted and destroyed a radar on top of a mountain in Halabja, Iraqi Kurdistan. That just came out. Like, right now. I don't know. Again, take it with a grain. No, pile. Huge pile. Allegedly, they took out a radar installation on top of this mountain in Iraq. Again, this is the media arm of the regime. So, drone nets are old news, bro. I didn't bring it up. Faye did, Eugene. She put a link and information about it. I have no idea. So, and Eugene, bro, I'm just putting what Faye shared. All right. It's a little early. I'm still kind of like waking up. I'm a little touchy early in the morning. But I get it. Okay, I'm looking at Israel News. There's an ink shortage in Japan. Now they're doing their packaging in black and white for their snacks. I don't know if you've seen that. That's kind of bizarre. That's bizarre. That's what ILTV is saying. They're running out of ink, so they're doing the packaging in black and white. Side little story, but oh my gosh. This is coming from ILTV. Okay. Is that like the biggest? I mean, so what? I mean, really? That's a big story? I guess in Japan it might be. Uh-oh. What's the other side saying on the other outlet? I'm just so curious to see what they're saying now. All Hezbollah stuff. Mostly. Hezbollah. A lot of Hezbollah. Oh, wait, what's this? All right, that was the convoy heading to the airport to pick up the president. The president has landed. They have a whole bunch of images. I mean, I can share this. His son Eric is in the background. Elon, business leaders. Even, I don't know if that's, I don't know who that is on behind the president, like in the foreground. I know Rubio is there. So, it's like a family affair. I don't know what the hell that is. Oh man, these messages so early in the morning driving me fat. Here's your airstrike. Oh, that's Southern Lebanon, that last image. And again, another one is sharing those cages that are being built. But it's both coming from the media arm of the regime. They do a lot of sharing between them. And I'm sure a lot of people seen this yesterday. And he's not fooling around with this. Do not think he's fooling around with this. I'm sure some of you may have seen that, right? Yeah, that's a stereotype, Eugene. You know that. That they're all short. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's such a stereotype, you know? That they're all... That is, you know, it's a laughable thing. Like, they're all short. But, due to, and now this can be genetically, scientifically, with some data, what goes on in North Korea due to the malnutrition and what's been going on for years, it has affected growth, their size. It has over time in North Korea. There's studies that have been done on that due to the conditions. Yeah, we know this. We kind of talked about it. Tusi talked about it too yesterday. Oh, this is just ridiculous. It's too early for that. How the Iranians have stored their planes in Pakistan. And I've said it from the beginning. How do we trust the Pakistanis as a mediator? It's such garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. They're helping them. How is Pakistan? And the president says, and he was asked that question. Oh, they're great. He knows more than we do. So I'll leave it at that. I just want to see who's driving me nuts. See, this thing is going crazy. Oh God, it's early for this. The meeting might be delayed. Okay, I'm clear. That was the messages coming in, work related. All right, getting back. There's a lot of stuff coming up on Telegram. A lot. And this is more. You could have seen this, maybe part of this on Tusi. We showed some of it early yesterday. Confirming that Iran has put some planes there in Pakistan. Amir from Israel is sharing the videos. Oh, Jesus. This is going to drive me nuts. Okay. Might be rescheduled for tomorrow. I'm just going to check all these first. What? What? When did this happen? I'm not even going there. There are people speculating about what the meeting is going to be between Xi and President Trump. Okay, spokesman for the... This is what I keep saying. These parliament national security members. We will under no circumstances this morning. A spokesperson for the parliament's National Security Committee in Iran. Until we get rid of this cancer, nothing's going to change. There is no regime change. I can't emphasize that more. We will under no circumstances allow the Strait of Hormuz to return to its pre-war status. Iran is not seeking to permanently close the Strait of Hormuz, but rather for the Strait of Hormuz to be under Iranian control and benefit Iran. The fucking tolls, excuse my language. This is utterly ridiculous. Parliament is about to approve a legal framework for the Strait of Hormuz. Legal for who? Who's recognizing this legal framework? For the Strait of Hormuz that all entities will be required to implement. The international community? So you're setting the conditions and the rules for the Strait? So you're passing something there? Can you imagine this? Can you imagine this? Yes, Eugene, correct. That's true. That's why they can't stand the Japanese. World War II? The Chinese, Japanese, what the Japanese did to the Chinese? Okay. That's what they said this morning, a statement. So they're really, the hardliners, the IRGC is not backing off on this. We'll see how this works out, but this is the talk coming out. All right, so it says here from Amir, Iran relocated the remains of its military aircraft to Pakistan and civilian aircraft to Afghanistan. So there's more. And it's based on satellite imagery. We've seen some of that. So he's like really getting into the details of it. A lot of Hezbollah stuff. I wonder what's going to happen with Starmer. What is this about? King Charles and Queen Camilla arrive at Parliament before the King's speech. That's going to... I'm sure Tusi's covering this. It has to be. What's going on in the UK is really fascinating, interesting. it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out with Starmer and others, the other ministers. Who's going to be the replacement? And like somebody in chat has been saying, careful, it could be worse than what we have. Well, not what we have, what you have there now. At least for now. Craziness. And if you want to see the president landing in Beijing earlier, it's pretty cool just to look at it. I'll rewind it. And we picked this up yesterday. I don't know who was in chat. It was Will, I think, when I was looking at Flight Radar, the Doomsday accompanying. And we were like, oh, he's in Alaska. Remember? I don't know if Will's here. Oh, he's at work, actually. Last night, we picked up on that. Here's some more. Let's see if this is a whole bunch of videos. Okay, there's more. Let's take a look. I'll bring it to the beginning. So they've got, obviously they have the flags of representing both countries. They're waving around USA, China. So that's one. There's another. Elon's in the back. Yeah, there's Elon. I think that's Elon in the back, right? I can't tell. Eric's wife is in the way. Looks like Elon. Oh, yeah, that's Elon. And other business leaders, by the way. Yep. Elon's with him. I'm just glad Rubio's with him. There's a story between that, too, with Rubio going to China. He's not exactly welcomed. Good morning, Tammy. And Habibi. And Helmet. And Carla. And, of course, Josh. Josh, again, you're wondering where they got the nuclear material from. Who's to say they didn't have it already at an undisclosed location? You have to read the report carefully. Because for 5 years, after they pulled all their surveillance equipment and told them to get out, we don't know what was really going on in Iran. It's in the report. They can't account for things that may have been moved to undisclosed locations. And they even admit there may be locations that they're not even aware of in Iran at the time of the report, which was May 31st last year. So they may have the nuclear material. I keep emphasizing that. We keep hearing that number for over 400. That's what's confirmed, so to speak, allegedly. Doesn't mean that's the true number. Good morning, Witch Moon. And Navy Mom. All right, let's continue. I'm still getting messages. All right. So there's a lot of this, and I'm sure we're going to see at some point today. Now, what time is it in China right now? He looks like he arrived late. Alexa, what time is it in Beijing, China?
It's 2:25 a.m. in Beijing, China.
It's 2:25 a.m. So for the next few hours, to say the least, we're not going to hear much coming out of China. Tonight, I would say yes. So if it's 2:23, say 11 a.m. That's, say, 9 hours. So yeah, by tonight, we might start to hear some stuff coming out of China in their morning, late morning or early afternoon. So sometime tonight, Eastern time here, we could start hearing stuff coming out of China. So keep an eye on that tonight, whether you're in the United States, Eastern, Central, Pacific, or anywhere else. Sometime this evening, night, Eastern time, we may start to hear stuff coming out of China. Here's the motorcade. Trump's motorcade was headed to Beijing airport for his arrival summit. Oh, that's the motorcade, okay. More images, we've seen those. See, this is interesting, what Amir is posting. This is definitely going to be brought up. Chinese company that tracked U.S. bombers over Iran wears sanctions with pride. They don't even give a shit. Mizar Vision defiant after Washington imposes a sweeping ban for publishing open source images detailing Operation Fury activities. They don't even care. That's a discussion I'm going to have with Xi. Though we do it too. What is this? When was this? 20 minutes ago. Shiraz. There was allegedly an explosion. Again, one of those, not gas, near Shiraz. Heavy explosion reported in Shiraz, Fars province. Initial reports, I can't read it. Shiraz is a critical military and industrial infrastructure. Origin and circumstances remain unknown at this stage. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the information on that. What was the source? What caused it? Who knows? He put a video, Amir. This is interesting too, it is. This guy didn't even flinch. And the plane is roaring loud. And he didn't even move. And he's right near the freaking plane as the president is landing, a Chinese soldier. This is pretty bizarre. That looks like AI 100% to me. That does not look real. Now that looks fake. If I was to say, that looks fake. But this is what Amir put out on a post. That does that look real to you? Does that look real to anybody? It looks fake to me. I'm just saying. I don't know. That does not look kosher to me. Now that, Eugene, or the others that were commenting about AI, that definitely is questionable to me. So Amir is also saying, and again, take this with a pile. Iranian oil exports from Karg Island stopped this morning for the first time since the start of the war, and satellite images show that the oil storage tanks are completely full, a development that would likely push Iran toward a military response in an attempt to break the American blockade. Total speculation. Uh-oh. IDF. We'll skip IDF. It's all Hezbollah. I follow a lot of the Israeli news outlets just to see what they're saying, and the media for the for regime. Okay, I'm caught up on Telegram. Let's see what you people are saying. Looks real to you? I'm just saying, the way the plane looked in the foreground, now, obviously, I'm really good with cameras. When you focus in on an object that's you're focusing on, and in the foreground, it gives it a little bit of a blur, just like you watch a movie. Not with all cameras, though, now. You'll see, like even me, you might see me clear, but the background starts to get a little blurry. So it could be, but I'm not so sure. Just not. Oh my God, I can't share that on the screen. Iran International did a special report about the massacre with images at a Tehran hospital. I'm not sharing that on the screen. Not good. Horrible. Okay, we have to go here now. So CENTCOM an hour ago released this. A U.S. An F-35 stealth fighter jet patrols over regional waters near the Strait of Hormuz. The F-35 can carry up to 18,000 pounds of ordnance while still flying at supersonic speeds. So CENTCOM put this out to rattle. We're armed and ready, and we're flying over the strait. So Navy Mom put here, according to reputable source, Trump will meet with Xi alone Wednesday at Temple of Heaven. What? With an interpreter. This is huge, very symbolic in Chinese culture. Only emperors were allowed. Wow. Wow. That is historic. I wonder if any other world leaders ever met with Xi at that location. I guess this could be the first time a world leader has met with Xi at that location, the way that made it sound. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm reading into that. Can you do better than that with your ballroom? Xi is like rolling out, like that's, how do you top that? No, never before. Okay, what did Faye put in here? Now gonna have to check the New York Post for this information. New York Post: U.S. Energy Secretary Wright, Iran frighteningly close to a nuclear weapon. See, could that be tied to the earthquakes? We're gonna have to go to the New York Post now, and we're definitely gonna have to see. Ceasefire may have bought them the time. And yes, there could be questions about the yield, the size, if that's even true. Why would he say that? I'm not seeing it on the New York Post site as of right now. We're going to have to dig into that a little bit. Because I'm not seeing it. But I'm going to see if we can find his comment somewhere else. Was this during his test while he was testifying to Congress? That's the New York Post. Did he say something at the... You see, even the U.S. Energy Secretary is involved in monitoring Iran's nuclear program and has stated that while the military strikes have damaged Iran's nuclear capabilities, the full extent of the damage and the location of enriched uranium remains uncertain. They're not sure. We're gonna have to see if that's. I want to see if the New York Post is accurate. I'm not seeing it right now. So we're going to have to need to look into that more because I'm not seeing that. Unless you guys are finding something. First time, very sacred place. I know, right, John? And what did we say? We keep saying about this energy secretary opening his mouth. Haven't we been discussing this guy? In recent days, he's been doing a lot of talking. He needs to shut up. For real. I'm still trying to find this. Unless they put it on X, I'm actually looking. I want to see if that's true. I'm not seeing any other articles by any other media outlets other than what was just posted there. We have to be careful with some of these accounts. We have to verify it. Yes and yes. Faye. Because I went to the New York Post website. You would think this would be breaking. I'm just not seeing it on their website right now. Unless it's on X. No. I'm not gonna dwell on this right now. Just wait to see if more information comes out. Got to be careful with some of these posts. I'm going to try one more time. We're going to have to wait. I'm seeing nothing. Got to be careful with some of these accounts. until more information comes out. If somebody can verify that. Here comes the spam calls. All right, I need to refresh chat. For some reason, it's not refreshing on YouTube. Okay, now. Kyiv, Ukraine is on fire now. Well, that's gone back and forth with Ukraine and Russia. It's not, that doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. It doesn't surprise me. What? A member of, this is 7 minutes ago, a member of Iranian Parliament's National Security Committee. I keep talking about these committees and these people. They got to be taken out. These are where the hardliners are. A member of the Parliament of the National Security Committee rejected UAE's claim that Iran had launched missile and drone attacks on the country. What? Saying it was aimed at building pressure against Iran. Are they like totally denying that they launched anything toward the UAE? Are we to really believe that bunch of BS? He said the UAE's positions and actions show that Israel and the United States supported the country and that the approach reflected the UAE distancing himself from the region's Muslim Arab countries and seeking help from the enemies of the Islamic world. See, for them, it is all about a holy war. This is not Venezuela. This is not a normal circumstance situation. We're dealing with religious fanatics. It's a holy war. It's a jihad. That's why this is not different. You take out a leader like in normal circumstances. This is not normal circumstances. This is not the way it functions in Iran. So regime change, it just drove me nuts when we kept hearing there's been total regime change. You don't know how that drives me nuts. I'm sure it drives Tusi, Goldie, and Armin crazy just as much. And we've been saying it from the beginning. And they have a lot more insight than I do, them with the backgrounds they have being Persian, Iranian. But again, it doesn't take, you don't have to be a rocket science to figure out what the hell is going on. It makes my blood pressure go up. We've got to target these people. Sorry, we got to target these people. What's up, Diesel? All of them. They always tell lies. Yeah, you cannot believe a thing since the inception of the IRGC, the Islamic Republic. You cannot believe anything. Nothing. But that just tells you how, if you can't believe anything, how do you trust them to make a deal? Common sense? How are you going to trust them with their track record, their history? How the hell are you supposed to all of a sudden make a deal with the people you just can't trust to make a deal with? Look at history. The same way you say 47 years, nothing's been done. Well, 47 years, when deals were supposedly made or agreements, how did that work out? Same thing. Can't be trusted. You don't deal with terrorists. So what's this deal bullshit? Nonsense. Nonsense. All of a sudden, 47 years of talk, delay. Other administrations didn't get nothing done. So you think your deal is going to be any different from any other deal that's been done in the past and it's going to change anything? With the threat of use of military force? It's nonsense. Especially now, the way they're coming out with their rhetoric. You think a deal is going to be made? I don't think so. Come on. It's nonsense. It's either that or we're playing along, and again, you'll hear people say, "Oh, it's all part of the 4D chess. It's all part of it." I hope so. I hope so. But at the same time, ceasefire keeps going. Iran is regrouping, and yes, we're regrouping too. Yes, I get it. But what if? What are they doing? That's a scary question right now. And people say, "Oh, we decimated them." Well, if they are desperate themselves, what would they do in an act of desperation? It's like cornering something. How do you expect them to react? It's almost like, I'll use an analogy. You corner Russia. You corner Russia so much with all, you don't think Russia's going to lash out at some point? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, if you think about Russia's position with NATO all along its borders, that's an existential threat. How much before he lashes out in a way that you're like cornering and pressuring him? Well, think of Iran. That's worse. With this type of regime. Really want to go there? What are they going to do? What are they up to? What would they do? That should concern people. That should concern people. Because if they were to do something just insane, the counter reaction is going to be even more insane. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to suffer. The consequences are more than just dire. It's chaos. It's catastrophic. Potentially. The longer this bullshit goes on with this ceasefire nonsense, and you don't address it now, and you're giving them more time, I think that's a really bad move. Personally, my opinion. Bad move. Just me. But here we are. Groundhog Day number what? Just like I said, that's just my opinion. That's why, you see this right here? This is what I'm about. God willing, we get there. Okay, let's see what else. I just hope he runs. What? What is this? A University of Arkansas Iranian-American professor fired from her tenured position in late March is now facing investigations in Britain over allegations of academic misconduct tied to her research on Iran. What? I'm going to catch up with you guys saying, and good morning, Diesel. They have a history of doing what they agreed they wouldn't do. That's what I've been saying. It's scary what they are doing and receiving during the ceasefire. A trapped animal will always attack. That's what I'm talking about. I'm concerned about that. Plus, now they are threatening uranium enrichment. Forget about threatening uranium enrichment to 90%, if that's probably what you're alluding to, the 90% number. They most likely already have weapons-grade uranium on hand. I totally agree with you. When before this all started, and I spoke to my friend, the commander, the rumor going on behind the scenes in the region, the commander told me, remember, for those that watched in the early days of me streaming about this, the rumor was a dirty bomb, that they would launch a dirty bomb toward Israel. That was the rumor. That he told me that was going on behind the scenes over there. And he has connections him being a veteran and a contractor, he told me, and I can bring him on the phone right now. He's at work. And he's always at meetings. He's super busy. But he's going to come on at some point. That was then. And that made me freak out when he told me that. I may have the past message and see the date when he told me this. So they also, believe it or not, what happens if chemical is used? You could look at this in so many ways. This could get really downright freaking scary. I'm going to see, I got an appointment with the doctor tomorrow. I forgot about that. I'm going to look at his past messages when he told me about this. This was a while ago. Okay, here's Venezuela. Okay, here it is. When did he send this? January 20th. January 20th. This is what he wrote to me. Look what he wrote back then. And it's so clear. I think, this is what he wrote January 20th, the commander. I think the issues are hitting the right targets and ending the mullah thugs' control. Take out the regime. He was on it from the beginning, before it even started. This is January 20th. The IRGC Revolution Guard is the problem. No shit. He was... They need to be stopped. This is before February 28th. This is January 20th. Rumors. Iran uses dirty bombs on retaliation strikes. The Iranian government is going after itself. Internal fights, possible overthrow. Some talk that IRGC has arrested members of government. The internal fighting's been going on for quite some time. Remember when some people were put under house arrest? The former foreign minister or prime minister, whatever the hell it was. Remember that? That's what he wrote to me on January 20th. He was right on the money. And that was January 20th, what the commander told me. When he said that, the rumor, that was a private message, but I can talk about it now, and I'm sure he would come on and talk about it himself. So if you're talking to a country that's cornered, desperate, they know they're on the verge of losing control, what are they capable of doing before they lose control? That should concern everyone. And now with this month and a half, and I love it when people say, "Oh, we've been preparing just as much." Okay, I get that, but I'm really concerned about how they've been regrouping and preparing, and what they're up to. Jesus Christ. That should really concern everyone. We all know the fact that we have one hell of a power, strength, a presence there. We get that. Duh. But what are they up to? And I'll say it again. Are these earthquakes related in any way? If it is, actually they're doing any testing, what are they testing? I'm not saying that, I'll say it again, I'm not saying these earthquakes are not natural, but what if they're not? then what are they doing? What are they testing? What kind of high yield weapon are they testing on the ground? I'm gonna call the commander. I can't call him now, but because he's at work. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't want to share that, Faye. I found that because then we're going to get into a whole spin on that. But I did see that on Telegram. It actually shows the award and everything. The IDF is now testing counter-drone technologies. Oh, what's coming out now? The Iranian government is preparing for an attendance between 20 to 30 million people from his funeral. Really? 20 to 30 million? We're going to see that many people attending the funeral of the mouse? 20 to 30 million? I'd like to see that. You want to see the images? I didn't really want to put it on because it's going to open up a different. There are images of it. I got to remember who was the one that put it out. It's probably the other side. Oh no, it was Amir. It was Amir. He put that out about what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure it was Amir. I'm scrolling. Yeah, right here. How are you giving an award to this creep? I mean, that is disgusting. I'm just going to say it. How are you giving this person some type of an award from the Islamic Republic? Are you serious? Like, what? Pope Leo bestowed the Vatican's highest diplomatic honor upon the Islamic Republic's ambassador, Hussein Makhtari. The man is part of a regime that slaughtered 42,000. That number, I think it's higher than that, honestly, of its own people, and imposes the death penalty on Muslims who convert to Christianity. That's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Because I know that could open up a whole new conversation. That's why I was like, but yeah, that is beyond. What is this? They're doing a lot of Hamas, Hezbollah stuff. The Israeli reporters on Telegram. Can you believe I may literally have to light a fire in here? Oh, Jesus. Here we go with Starmer related. A bipartisan group of U.S. lawmakers urged the U.K. to immediately designate Iran's Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist organization in a letter released on Wednesday, citing hostile Iran-backed activity in Europe and Britain. The letter was led by Representatives Claudia Tenney, Brad Sherman, and Mike Lawler, and signed by lawmakers from both parties. The IRGC is one of the world's most dangerous terrorist organizations, the same people that you are trying to negotiate with, and has the blood of innocent civilians, Americans, and dissidents on its hands. Every day the British Parliament fails to vote on this legislation is another day the IRGC evades the full impact of our nation's combined sanctions. The same people that you're trying to make a deal with. So on one hand, you say that, but on the other hand, you're dealing with terrorists. You're acknowledging the IRGC's terrorists. That's who you're dealing with right now. Vahidi. That's who you're dealing with. So you're negotiating with him? Because if you think those so-called moderates are the ones that are going to call the shots in Iran on any kind of negotiation or deal without getting the approval from above, you're totally living in some fantasy land. This is why this shit does not make sense to me. and to many others. It just doesn't make sense. This fascination with a deal with this regime. It doesn't make any sense unless you want to throw a 4D chess equation that it's all part of the plan. Because that's going to be what people are going to say. Oh, it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. And I wonder who it is in the inner circle of the administration that is really pushing the president to choose diplomacy, push a deal, push a deal, push a deal. And I think all of you could figure out who those people are, right? I did not know that, Dave. Dave says that there's a prayer room in the Vatican for Muslims since last year. I did not know that. Well, I thought it was, I didn't want to really get into it. I saw that on Telegram, and I wasn't sure either to put it up on the screen. But it seems like it's being confirmed on numerous outlets. But again, gotta wait. I want to see more information come out about that. That's why I didn't want to put it out, because it's so preliminary, it's so early. But then again, just like I share other stuff, take it with a pile of salt, because we just don't know. Just don't know. I wouldn't doubt it. Let's put it that way. I can't believe I have to make a fire, because it's cold in here. And I'm not using oil heat to heat the house, because that shit is so expensive right now. I'm not trying to use oil heat. Absolutely not. I'll make a fire. I still got plenty of wood. That's the reality. Okay, let's get this fire going. Okay, let's see if that gets going. It's cold in here. So Navy Mom also says, yes, her Dave, so sorrowful to hear and ashamed as a Catholic. And it's listed everywhere that I'm a Catholic. Like I've told that story when I was in the hospital in the ER and the recovery after getting a stent put in, how the Catholic priest came because they saw my information, and it freaked me out. I was like, I saw him walking in. I was like, Father, you're not here for anything to tell me like I'm in trouble. Like, you know, I don't remember what I said. He started laughing. He said, no. I'm just checking to see if you're okay. And you know how they say, my son, would you like to do a prayer? You know, all that. But I had to joke. This isn't a bad sign that you're coming in, right? I had to make the joke. Oh my gosh. That's a true story. People that know me know that that's a true story, right? Diesel might know. Diesel saw me when I was live streaming from the hospital room when that happened. I had to stop the stream on, I think it was on Facebook, because he came into the room. I gotta go now. Oh, that was priceless. Iran's former labor minister said the war between Iran and the United States would last for years and was not going to end. He dismissed the U.S. maritime blockade on Iran as mostly psychological. What bullshit. The enemy cannot create challenges for us through a naval blockade and mostly uses its psychological effect. Oh, really? So it's not having any economic effect? What kind of BS is that? They are so full of it. It's just like somebody said, you can't believe a word, anything they say. It's just too much. I wonder if that's live. Is King Charles' speech live? Is it happening? Did it happen? Somebody in the UK, please tell me what's going on. Is this being streamed live that we can see? I wonder. I'd be curious just to see what he says. With everything that's going on in the UK right now, with the ministers resigning and Starmer. Somebody in the UK, fill me in, please. Oh shit, wait a minute. Oh shit. Oh my god, my headphones are stuck. There's a stream, but it's not working. It's spinning. UK Parliament live, but it's not working. Only audio.
And members of the House of Commons. An increasingly dangerous and volatile world threatens the United Kingdom, with the conflict in the Middle East only the most recent example. Every element of the nation's energy,
It's over?
defense, and economic
I
security
still want to hear what he said.
will be tested. My government will respond to this world with strength and aim to create a country that is fair for all. My ministers will take decisions that protect the energy, defense, and economic security of the United Kingdom for the long term.
With Starmer? Oh,
They will
look at
defend
him.
the British
Oh my
values of
god, look at
decency,
Starmer.
tolerance, and respect for difference under our common flag. And they will harness the potential of the pride felt across this country for its communities. My government will take urgent action to tackle anti-Semitism and ensure all communities feel safe. My government believes that the United Kingdom's economic security depends on raising living standards in every part of the United Kingdom.
What?
My ministers
It's
will
a
support
speech written
measures
by Starmer?
that maintain stability and control the cost of living. They will use public investment to shape markets and attract further private investment. They will deploy the power of an active state in partnership with business and enable reforms that support higher growth and a fair deal for working people. My government believes that improved trading relations are vital for the United Kingdom's economic security, for significantly raising economic growth, and for lowering prices for working people. My ministers will introduce legislation to take advantage of new trading opportunities, including a bill to strengthen ties with the European Union. My government will also support the economic security of British businesses. Legislation will be introduced to tackle late payments and to reduce the burden of unnecessary regulation through innovation. The United Kingdom's economic security depends upon world-class infrastructure. Legislation will be introduced to unlock the benefits of airport expansion, enable roads to be built at pace, including the Lower Thames crossing, and deliver a fair deal for the north of England through Northern Powerhouse Rail. My ministers will continue to take all action necessary to safeguard the domestic production of steel. My government will also improve the United Kingdom's security by continuing to invest in the renewal of public services. My ministers will push forward with significant reforms to the police, the National Health Service, and to the criminal justice system to help them deliver services the British people expect. Legislation will be introduced to increase confidence in the security of the immigration and asylum systems. My government will improve critical infrastructure with legislation to clean up the water industry and establish Great British Railways. My government believes that the United Kingdom should be a country fair for all and a place where every child is included in the nation's highest aspirations. My ministers believe that every child deserves the chance to succeed to the best of his or her ability and not be held back due to poverty, special educational needs, or a lack of respect for vocational education. My ministers will continue to invest in apprenticeships and measures that tackle youth unemployment. They will respond to the Milburn Review and the Timms Review and continue to reform the welfare system to support both young and disabled people to flourish in work as the basis for long-term economic security. A bill will be brought forward to raise standards in schools and introduce generational reforms of the special educational needs system. My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services. Alongside strong public services and a strong economy, the highest standards of trust in public office are essential for the social contract and the United Kingdom's collective security. My government will introduce the Hillsborough Law to bring forward a duty of candour for public servants. My ministers will also introduce legislation to enable peerages to be removed. My government will bring forward proposals that strengthen the delivery, accountability, innovation, and productivity of the civil service. These proposals will also seek to safeguard its impartiality and core values to enhance trust and confidence in the institutions of government. My government will bring forward a bill to speed up remediation for people living in homes with unsafe cladding and a draft bill to ban abusive conversion practices. In this volatile world, my government will continue to pursue foreign policy based on a calm assessment of the national interest. It will continue its unflinching support for the brave people of Ukraine who fight on the front line of freedom. My ministers will seek to improve relations with European partners as a vital step in strengthening European security. It will continue to promote long-term peace in the Middle East and the two-state solution in Israel and Palestine. My government will also uphold the United Kingdom's unbreakable commitment to NATO and our NATO allies, including through a sustained increase in defence spending. My government will seek to reinforce the long-term energy, defence and economic security of the United Kingdom as an essential component of strength on the world stage. This will include housing, which can be a source of insecurity for many people. My ministers will bring forward legislation to increase long-term investment in social housing and to reform the leasehold system, including the capping of ground rents. My government will introduce legislation to tackle the growing threat from foreign state entities and their proxies. They will respond to the horrific attack in Southport with measures to protect the British people from extreme violence and honour the victims, the injured and their families.
He sounds
My
like
ministers
Starmer.
will also introduce legislation
He kind of sounds like
to
Starmer.
improve the
It's
country's
like I'm bugging out.
defences against cybersecurity threats. My government will support our gallant armed forces and their families who make considerable personal sacrifices
No
for
offense
the
to our
collective
UK
security
friends.
and freedom of everyone in the United Kingdom. My ministers will recognise this service with an armed forces bill that improves the service justice system and establishes the Armed Forces Covenant in statute. My ministers believe that energy independence must be a long-term goal of national security and that the nation's energy security requires long-term investment and reform, as demonstrated by recent events in the Middle East. Increased production of clean British energy will help to ensure that enemies of the United Kingdom cannot attack the economic security of the British people. My ministers will therefore introduce an energy independence bill to scale up homegrown renewable energy and protect living standards for the long term. My ministers will also take forward recommendations of the nuclear regulatory review and encourage a new era of British nuclear energy generation. My government will remain a leading advocate for tackling climate change and achieving a world free from poverty. The United Kingdom will also take action to reduce humanitarian need and conflict around the world.
No
My
wonder
ministers
your
will champion the
parliament is
rights
the
of
way it
women and
is.
girls to live in a world free from violence. This will include promoting women's full economic and political participation within their societies, with agency over the decisions that impact.
I'm pausing this for a second. I have to wonder. Has anybody, and I'm totally in the dark on this. This is to the UK folks. Has anybody heard or familiar with William's political positions on anything? Has he been outspoken on anything? Because it's obvious where his father is coming from. What is William's views? Is he more of a conservative? I mean, like, I'm trying to feel this out. I do not know at all. I do not know at all. I'm not going to pretend like I know because I know nothing. But has William come out? Has the prince come out to discuss anything, what he thinks about certain issues? I'm very curious as the future king. Where this country, I mean, I am baffled. We smell more scam in Canada. What's happening with BP oil in Iran these days? John says it's Starmer's speech for the opening of Parliament. The king has no input. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Their lives.
I'm just looking at them leave. I know this is already done, but I just want to see it. So, to my UK friends in here, if and when Starmer resigns, who is the leading candidate to replace him? And I know what Tusi said. It's like being replaced by a communist. With a communist. What the heck is going on in the UK? I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. Are we going to defend our interests in the Middle East? And then to talk, I heard of the reference to immigration, and I'm like, I swear, it sounded like deja vu. It's like listening to Starmer speak. Wow. For comparison, that's right. What? What? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, the Chinese embassy is what? The size of an Amazon site distribution center? Those are pretty damn big. Why does China have such a big embassy? A lot of spies in that embassy, I bet. Oh, really? William may be more politically related to his mother Diana. Oh, I can't even recall that because that's so long ago. Now you know why Alberta is getting the heck out of the British Commonwealth. Wow. See, I'm totally unfamiliar with what's going on. That's why I watch Tusi. Because he fills me in on what the heck is going on over there. They're built. Oh, it's being constructed. It's not done. It's being built in London. Wow, this is just like bug. That just freaked me out watching that and listening to it. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. I don't even know what to say. Oh, geez. Here's more. Kamnath with Starmer. A senior aide to the Iranian president says if a referendum were held, people would choose security over easy access to the internet. In wartime conditions, fully open international internet is fundamentally inconceivable. Why? Why? What are you afraid of? U.S. propaganda? Israeli propaganda? Being fed to your people? Or is it something else? To get the true information coming out of Iran by people in Iran saying, look what the heck is going on here. Please, they are so ridiculous. They are so freaking ridiculous. Oh, it's renovating a building that is in place from what I've read. Anybody in the UK want to touch on that? What's going on with this construction or reconstruction of an embassy, Chinese embassy in London? Oh my gosh, I have no idea what the heck is going on. U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee urged countries astride the Persian Gulf to pick a side between, wait a minute, I don't know if Israel and Iran. Oh, I don't know about saying that. Saying the war had shown the benefits of normalizing ties with Israel. Pick a side. Which side are you going to pick? Huckabee said on Wednesday at a conference in Tel Aviv. The lesson is that Israel is not your natural enemy. Israel is not out to destroy you. Israel is not trying to take over your land. It's not sending missiles into your civilian territories. Who's doing that? Iran is. I don't know. I don't know if you want to throw that into the equation. I don't know about that. Iran might love that. I don't know. That's what he allegedly said in a conference in Tel Aviv. Now, obviously, he's the Israeli ambassador. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that too much. I don't want to read too much into that. But I don't know if you necessarily want to try to align the other Arab countries. We know the UAE to pick a side between Israel and Iran. I mean, a lot of them don't even recognize Israel as a state, as a country. It's only like a handful. It's like 6 or 7. There are many that have not. I don't know if that's strategically a good idea to bring that up right now, to be honest. Just my opinion. What's up, 006? Yes, it's being built right over the top of the main communication cable tunnels that carry most of London's communications. Oh, how lovely. Are you serious? They're building it right over the main communication cables? That is... Really? Of all locations, it's going to be over that kind of location? That is madness in itself. Oh my gosh, from the main data cables. Who? What? What's going on in the UK? That's madness. The fire's going. You could probably hear it, right? It's cold in here. Excuse me. Let's see what they're putting out now. Okay, that's something else. All right, so the other side is mocking the UAE after they presented evidence arresting more than 50 Iranian cells. This is what they're putting out, just so you know. Just gonna put it out there. Take it, take it, take it. Big pile. So some laptops, desktops, cash. What does it say? Laptops, PCs, and iPads, cash, sheer religious books, binoculars, wow. 2 Hezbollah flags printed on paper, LMAO, 2 decorative swords. And they're mocking it. Like, this is what the best you can do to say they're some part of a cell. This is interesting, though. They're pulling up this point, too, by the way. Here's another point they're bringing up, what King Charles said. My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize, control how citizens interact with public services. Oh my gosh, you people, this is like 1984 over there. You're all being so closely monitored now, boy. My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services. Can somebody translate that for me? That does not sound good. To me, at least. It's being built on the old Royal Mint site right opposite Tower of London. Oh my gosh, what's going on? It seems I don't want to like say anything offensive or anything, but it sounds like the UK is being undermined from within by whoever these people are. What? And I've heard stories from some of you. What the heck is going on in the UK as far as you can't make comments because there could be the threat or literally the arrest. You can't even fly the Union Jack without offending others by flying it. If somebody told me I can't have my flags outside my house because it offends someone, you are toast. What? This is nuts. I see the people that have been there for generations and generations and generations, like saying, what the F is going on in our country? How did this happen? Who allowed this to happen over time? And I am not going to get it because I don't know, but remember the Arab Spring, the Exodus, looking back, and pretty much in Europe, there had to be a major turning point here. And I'd be interested to see when you guys tell me when you think that occurred, when the shit just flipped upside down. I mean, this is, I'm shocked. For real. I'm like, it's shocking. That's true to a point, Faye. And that is a major concern, to allow that nonsense to start happening here, which in some places, and I'm not going to get political. I'm trying to stay away from that. Look what's going on with Mamdani in New York City and on the streets of New York, and allowing it to happen. That is a sign. I don't know what the heck, I don't want to get into other language, New York City was thinking. I am so glad I don't live there. I haven't lived there in 20 years. But like you said, it starts somewhere and it spreads. It's in certain states, certain communities. I'm not going to get into this whole conversation, but you guys, what Faye just alluded to is, it's a point to be made. I'm going to read what you guys are writing. Good morning, Witch Moon. It's social commentary. It's my own opinion. But I don't want to get drawn into a political conversation right now. And yes, Witch Moon, I hope you're feeling better. Don't worry, rain is on the way in Texas this weekend, based on the models I've seen. Oh, you guys are funny. Dave says, that's okay, John. I'm sure the government will put a sign up saying, don't touch the cables. Maybe there's some stuff floating in the Persian Gulf right now, Strait of Hormuz. Don't touch the cables. Same thing. Forget about the strait. They're going to hold that hostage too. Don't touch the cables. Then some people are saying, oh, but they don't have ships with anchors enough to drag it. What if they used a underwater drone with explosives and just take out the cables that way? Does it have to be done with an anchor? Are you kidding? Oh my gosh. It's not even about the free stuff, Thomas. It's about the conditions on the ground in the streets and allowing certain activities to occur in New York City that is just out of control. And it's getting really bad with the anti-Semitism in New York City. Really bad. And having these people running amok on the streets. I don't know if you realize what's going on in New York City, but it is crazy. Of course they do. They want control of the people in every way. That's why I thought of 1984. I was like, oh my God. It's just some scary stuff. Happy Wednesday, Anna. Ann? And any word, 2C Live, Goldie, Armin, I'm sure they will. They always are like on clockwork. They go live. And I did watch a little bit with Ali. Very intelligent young man. It's nice to see and hear fresh. It's nice. Very well informed. Good on Armin. And yes, I subscribed and we've been promoting that as well. Navy Mom, do your thing. Put the link to Ali's channel, please. So I don't have to scramble to go get it. We promote that. I promote others. I have no problem doing that. I've had some friends tell me what was going on in New York. It's insane. So you know. Armin is live already. Nothing scheduled on Tuesday at the moment. I have something to do soon. I have to help the police show. I forgot what the heck the title was. They haven't messaged me. It's not a police show. It's retired NCIS agents, and they focus on the corruption and stuff that's going on here in the United States. And I do it as a favor to them because I know them for a long time, and I kind of get them started now producing their show, but they're starting to learn how to do it on their own, and I hope at some point they do it on their own, but they're learning, but at some point they will. So they're going to have someone from Pennsylvania, GOP candidate John Alante Macaulay. And the title of the show is Flip Philly Red with PA State GOP candidate John Alante Macaulay. That's their guest. That starts at 2 p.m. If you want to look at it on Rumble, it's Search Warrant. Same on YouTube. If you're interested in that. It starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. They're going to have a candidate, GOP candidate, talking about Philadelphia and what's going on there. Just saying. That's what I have to do at 2. But I have to get there early to prepare them. Make sure everything's good. Goldie already scheduled for 4:30? Because Armin is busy. I really like his energy. I really like Armin's energy. And, you know, like I said, I'm just saying that's on my own personal opinion. Speak the Truth is live. I'm looking at my screen right now. Where's Steve been? Has Steve been live? I'm not seeing. Hope he's all right. I haven't. Let me see. When was the last time Steve streamed? Oh, he did. He streamed last night. I didn't see it. 12 hours ago. Before that, it was 5 days. So he was live. Let me check Goldie. Upcoming. Correct. Well, it says here it's at 12:30 p.m. She's starting in less than an hour. We have different time zone issues between us. So it's actually, she's going to be starting soon. Like I said, Speak the Truth is currently live. Let me see.
Missiles left, so they're not going to fall. They're going to be able to resist all of this. Okay, who had more leverage, the Islamic Republic now,
Armin,
or the Soviet fucking Union
See,
in the Cold War?
you see, this is why I love Armin uncensored, unfiltered, because he's kind of like me. We don't hold back, even if we use the words. I really, when, let's say Goldie steps away, that's when he lets loose. And then he's always watching to see if Goldie gets back. And then he says, oh, Goldie's back. I got to watch my language. Or no. You know what I'm talking about for those that know, right? You know that deal. Oh, God, Astro. What's up, Astro? Good to see you. And, of course, Fringe. So, yeah, Armin is live. I mean, it didn't even take long for me to listen in for a second for him to start. See, people don't get it. Sometimes, like for me, like a New Yorker, the cuss words is expressive. It's a passionate word. It may upset some people, but it's actually coming from frustration, passion. In New York, it's part of New York. I can't, and that's simple as it gets. But I do like Armin.
They had nukes. They had a bigger army that the Islamic Republic has right now by a huge margin. A much bigger army that the Islamic Republic has. They had nukes, for crying out loud, right? They were considered a superpower. The Islamic Republic is not considered a superpower. The Soviet Union was a superpower. And it fell without a hot war, without like a direct head-to-head
Excellent point.
confrontational war, only under economic pressure.
Excellent point by Armin. See, check it out. You can go. I'll share the screen. Better yet, Liberty Politics. If you want to follow Armin, he's live right now. That's Armin. If you're not familiar with him, just saying. There's so many people out there. That's a great point. What he just said, to me at least. All right, let's see what else is going on. Remember, the news is kind of quiet, because I think a lot of people are waiting to see how this meeting plays out between Xi and President Trump, which won't happen till tonight. We'll get somewhere because it's early in the morning in Beijing right now. So you got to figure it's several hours away that we'll start hearing more coming out of China with the president. So keep an eye on, like, for me, it's almost noon. So by like 8 p.m. tonight Eastern, 9, you're going to see everybody streaming. Steve is probably going to wait until some close to that time, because that's when we might start hearing things coming out of China. Images, video, who knows? So keep an eye on that later on in several hours. I'm going to check Truth Social. Doesn't matter where he's at. He'll post. Nope, not since 12 hours ago. He's busy. You think? Nothing for 12 hours. I'd say it's got to be close to 3 a.m.-ish in Beijing. Alexa, what time is it in Beijing, China?
It's 11:43 p.m. in Beijing.
Oh, shit, I was way off. It's almost midnight. Are you sure? I need to double check, because she's been wrong on her time. Oh my God. Horrible. I'm going to look it up manually. I am not believing that. It is 11:43. It was right. It is 11:43. I was off a few hours. So it's 12 hours difference. That makes sense, actually, in Asia. So that even makes it more complicated. It won't happen till maybe late tonight, say 11, maybe midnight Eastern. That's 11 in the morning, 12 noon in China. So we may not hear nothing till maybe later tonight. Now the president might put out a couple of Truth Social posts. We may see certain images of him going to meet Xi, like a motorcade or stuff like that. But I don't foresee anything in the next several hours, to say the least. You know what I mean? So you might want to keep an eye on that tonight, which is Thursday for them. And that is like, I think a lot of people are sitting by and waiting to see, including the Iranians, to see any comments coming out of China between the two leaders. Especially that, what was this? Can somebody refresh my memory in chat again? what this site is in China that they're meeting, which has incredible sacred significance in China? Can somebody tell me that? I want to look into this location. I want to actually look it up on Google Earth. I want to see this. So somebody help me out again. I just want to see the layout of it. I think Danny's in Croatia. I forget. I was right. Croatia. All right, so I don't know if it was Navy Mom. Somebody in chat told me about the Temple of Heaven. Thank you. We're on it. Let's go take a look. Spin around the world. Now, I don't think we can get down there with Google. Oh, wait a minute. I have to say, this reminds me, and I'm not making a joke, reminds me of the old movies that I used to like as a kid. The karate kung fu movies, or the one with the temples and the samurais and all that. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Wow, this is going to be some event today, well, tomorrow in China. Wow. You can't imagine the pomp and circumstance that's going to be going on here with both leaders. Wow. This is going to be, I mean, I hope that this is covered live with a public domain access. I would love to cover that. I don't know if they're going to do it. I would think the Chinese are definitely going to do it in some capacity. I will be looking tonight to see if there's any. I'm actually going to look now to see if there's any like upcoming. This is going to be an amazing thing to watch. Let me see. I'm afraid to share this on the screen. I am definitely going to keep an eye on this. Let me see something. Okay, I'm going to try to play this clip. As they're preparing for tomorrow. This is going to be incredible. Wait, what? Due to historic building maintenance, the Hall of Prayer for Cardinals will close May 12th. If you repurchase the repairs, request a refund. Okay.
It's actually not the procession going down to the Temple of Heaven. but you have an elephant that throws a eunuch against.
This place is so important for the emperor because this was where he received the mandate from heaven, the right to rule China.
Wow.
You can see the range of the Mahat is also very, very.
Xi is making a heavy statement just having it there alone. Symbolic for the country.
Then I think as a Chinese leader, this is the perfect backdrop to show the depth of Chinese history and how long it is, how sophisticated it is. So I think that it's a very good backdrop to telling Donald Trump and to tell the world that China's here and has been here for thousands of years.
It is a statement. It is a statement.
That's different, right? Because if something goes wrong, they are actually empowered to speak.
Access to anything else.
I can imagine.
So when the structure behind me burned down in the late 1800s, you simply could not find tree trunks that were high enough. So where did you go? You went to Oregon in the US.
What?
And in Oregon, you found redwood.
Oh my
so you
gosh.
actually imported American wood to restore the structure behind me with.
That's unbelievable. I didn't even know that. Beautiful temple. I will have the chills seeing this if it's live streamed tonight. I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for this. Because you know it's gonna be
美国当然也是要以自己的一些经济也是作为考量的，同时如果中国能给到一个不错的价格，我觉得特朗普是完全可以接受的。然后关于中国的一些人对特朗普，就很多人把它视作为一个谐星嘛，就是当然我觉得这也代表了特朗普其实的个人魅力是很强的。
That is true, because why is that? Because even here in the United States, a lot of people find what he says entertaining, and they laugh. So I get what he just said, but it's part of his charisma. It's part of his character. It's how he speaks. He's a businessman, you know. So I get exactly what he just said, because it even happens here in this country. It's entertaining for many people, actually. Aww.
当然是有影响的。首先是一些农产品吧，对于每个人，比如说我们喝豆浆、大豆，我们就是可能会得到一个更低廉的价格。然后是包括一些关税，我们可以出口我们的一些新能源汽车啊，一些高科技产业，然后我们也可以以一个较低的价格去进口到一些美国的。
Whoa. What do you mean certain? You have to have open trade. If we are allowing Chinese imports, which we know how much comes from China already on the market, it's like 70-something% of goods. You have to open up your markets to ours. Not some. See, that's where you could see it just right there. Makes me a little This would definitely beneficial for ordinary. Okay. Some
的一些科技产品，对于我们民众来说肯定是更好的。
这是对的，这是知道的。这传来传去。
对于我来说，我觉得这有点像那种做表面的那种友好感觉，因为我觉得特朗普这个人，他比起像一个领导人哈，他更像是一个网红的感觉，而且他有时候他做的一些事情就让人 觉得这是一个领导人该做的事情嘛。他更像是一个那种有点说的不好听一点，就有点哗众取宠的感觉，就有点感觉，而且就是有点太以自己的思想为中心，然后不太考虑别人的想法。
Interesting. Interesting. And of course, you're going to have various opinions of how people view things. That goes without saying. I agree with Navy Mom. This is symbolically huge. Xi relates himself to a specific, yes, totally, Emperor. Absolutely. I think it sends a message that China is old and mature and large. The U.S. is younger and smaller, but could support China. I don't know about support China. But it could be like respect the culture that we are. But that also goes into other points like don't bring up human rights. Don't bring up our political structure. Don't touch on those topics because we're showing you this is how China has been for thousands of years and it's not going to change. That's also sending out a signal as far as red lines that China is drawing by having a symbolic meeting at this location. There's more to read into this. You know what I mean? They're pretty much saying, don't even go there. That's my opinion. This is who we are. This is who I am. And it's pretty much respect our country, our culture, our way of living. All that. Very symbolic, but also historical. So, and believe me, the president is definitely going to walk in there with respect to Xi, to the Chinese. He's definitely going to do that. And, you know, they also know that he was part of a reality TV, The Apprentice. They see all that. How much exposure do they actually get to the president in China? They're judging it like anything else. Like I say all the time, from the outside, looking internally here, just like we would in China on how limited that is. We're very exposed, but yet when it comes to the Chinese culture, traditions, and the inner workings, it's not as exposed. So they're getting these opinions from these individuals based on how they view things, just like anybody else. And look at that. He's an internet celebrity. But the key word is there is celebrity, as some kind of a figure, like a reality TV personality. But that's from their basic understanding. But they also recognize his charisma. That's part of his personality. And he doesn't speak like a normal politician. He's very blunt and direct and speaks right off the cuff. That's not something they're used to when they say he doesn't speak like a traditional politician. It's because he's not. That's because he's not. So I get what they're saying, but trade is one thing about trade. It has to be on equal footing. And that's what the president is trying to create, equal footing between trade between us and China. Because the influx of goods that come in, they have to open their markets up to our goods. So I'm sure trade is going to be a major talking point discussion today, or actually tomorrow over there. And Iran, I don't know how much they're going to discuss about Taiwan. I think Iran is definitely going to be spoken about quite a bit. But see, it's not like past administrations. I'm just being brutally honest, and I'm being totally objective. about the human rights conditions in China, you know, the typical talking points of the past, that China's don't bring it up. That's a red line for them. Don't talk about our political structure, communism. Respect our way of life. Respect our political structure. They don't want to touch that. They don't want you to bring that up, but as past administrations make it a talking point. And right there, it's creating ire, and you're pissing off the Chinese right off the bat by doing that. And I honestly think the president won't mention that at all. I don't know what all of you think. I don't think he's touching any of that. Yes, it's one-on-one private with interpreters. So again, I'm just looking at it from a practical, opinionated view, but I think that's pretty much, in my opinion. He's not going in there talking about human rights and China's saying respect us. Respect our culture, our way of life. Don't interfere with that. And holding at such a symbolic location, it doesn't get more of a clearer message to me than that. So now I hope, and I'm going to stay up tonight and I'm going to keep an eye. Now, don't you tell me, anyone that's watching right now, you're not curious to see this whole pomp and circumstance tomorrow in China time? Now, I don't know what time they're scheduled. Even if the meeting is private, you know they're going to cover it. You know the Chinese media is definitely covering it. So somewhere out there, there's going to be some type of a live coverage. Later on, if anybody, if you find out any information, please let me know a link to where we can see this. I will keep my eyes out like I'm doing right now. That's how I stumbled on this. My wife is a Christian from Beijing. I married her there in 2004. We came here where I am from 2006 when after 2 years of marriage, it's been 22 years. That's beautiful. You know what? A lot of my relatives that were in Vietnam in the war, they married Vietnamese. I can call one right now. I actually haven't talked to him in quite some time. He married a Vietnamese. And she's wonderful. You know, people judge, stereotype. Like I always say, I think we all globally have a lot more in common than not. I do believe that. People are people. People just want to live their lives in peace and prosperity and health, and I think a lot of us have so much more in common than not. And the things that we don't, we respect the boundaries, and as long as they don't push that upon us and cross boundaries, it's fine. That's the way I look at it. I don't think it's not complicated. It's almost like anything else. Religion, politics, you push your views on me like trying to force it down my throat. Well, no. I'll reach my own conclusions, thank you, and my own opinions. I agree to disagree respectfully. And that's why years ago, as a little kid and growing up, there's two things that you really try to stay away from, and those that are older know this: religion and politics. I'm sure you've heard that. There's two things that are taboo to get involved with, and that was decades ago. So imagine now. I mean, I've heard that so much when I was a teenager. Two things. I'm sure many of you have heard that one before. What? can you acknowledge this link? What's this about? Is this island to China that you told me about a long time ago? I'll put it on the screen. Let me just get rid of mine. Banff begins selling itself to China, Alberta. When was this? This is old. It's 20 years ago, but this is what you told me. It happened quite some time ago. On how they were gobbling up territory and properties. You told me yesterday Vancouver is now nicknamed by locals as Vancouver. So, yeah, this has been going on. But again, this kind of stuff has been going on here in the United States for decades. When, like I said, when I was young and living in New York City, how they were gobbling up real estate left and right. Left and right. So that's not surprising me at all. It's what they do. It's expansion. And they have a long-term plan. You don't think that, like, just like anything else, it is about world domination. Control, power, greed, money, all the things that are attributed to that. But see, there's other secular groups out there that we know that want to make it all about them. So it's not just about the money materialistic aspect, it's also theocracy, ideology, and trying to make you that one. They're trying to make, like, and I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna get controversial here, but a certain religion dominating the world. You're welcome for the acknowledgement, but I get it. I do get it. Yes, that's it. Definitely, the Chinese with the railways. It happened here too. Yeah, it's very. I mean, we could go back in history and look at so many examples of so many things. But I totally get your point, 100%. What's going on? I got to catch up with the tube. Daily Iran news. Let's see what's going on here with Faye. And I'm going to get it off soon because I want to check out other people's podcasts. And I got to do work myself. Yeah, Iran. If this is a propaganda arm of the regime, they would love to put this point. President Xi Jinping doesn't go to receive Trump. Rather, he sends his junior officials to send him after losing. They don't even spell losing right. War with Iran. No country respect Trump. This is total propaganda nonsense. Of course they're going to do that. I'm telling you, in the last few days, it seems like the Iranians are really concerned about this meeting between Xi and President Trump. I've been seeing those signs, and that's part of it. I'm not surprised. They are definitely nervous about this meeting for some reason. I've noticed that. I've been mentioning that. There's something, they seemed a little unnerved right now. They're trying to downplay the meeting, throw stuff on the wall. Doesn't surprise me. It's propaganda. You know what I mean? Nolly, God bless you and your wife. Blessings. That is that is awesome. That's awesome. The son is English is better. That's awesome, Nolly. That's awesome. And you know what? There are people. I don't. Nolly, where are you? What country are you in? I never even asked you that. Where are you? And there's a reason I'm asking. Because the way things are here in the United States, going back in time, it's not as bad as it is now. It's more accepted. But if you were a couple walking out on the street, people definitely stereotype, especially, oh, you're in Oklahoma, so you know this, mixed marriages. Oh boy, think about what they went through. It's not as bad as it was decades ago when people were mixed marriages, African American, white, whatever it was, even Hispanic, white. They went through a lot because people weren't feeling that. I don't know if you remember this. So it's all about stereotypes and more. You're English, Irish, and Scandinavian. Don't even ask. I could show you. I don't know where it is. You've got to see my makeup. It's crazy. It's crazy, my makeup. European, English even. I have 6% English. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. Native American, because most of my ancestors come from, well, it shows when I did the records, Spain. And of course, where did they end up? In the Caribbean, in the islands. I have definitely Native American coming from the blend of the Spaniards with the native indigenous population. That's where it's coming from. But there's a mix of German, Italian, English, Russian. I am a mess. I'm a mess. But I say this, I'm an American. That's the bottom line. Born here, my family, like many others coming here back in the 1900s, but I identify because of heritage and that background. I have a definite interest of my background, but the one thing I say, I'm an American. You know what I mean? And proud American. That doesn't mean you can't be proud of your ancestry, your culture, everything else. Absolutely not. What's this mail order? Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, look, and friends, you bring up that. I get it. Well, she says mail order brides are normal even here. Well, look at shows, and this might sound controversial. Look at shows like 90 Day Fiancé that people love. It looks to me like these people just want to become citizens. And what happens soon thereafter? They dissolve these marriages. And, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So there's cases of all kinds that we can discuss, different scenarios. But again, like, I remember my cousin, and I could put her on the phone right now. And she's like my mom. My mom has the Spaniard look. She looks white. Mom doesn't look Puerto Rican or whatever. And I hate when people says things like to my mother, referring to her as a Puerto Rican, like, why are you doing that? Well, why? So what? Am I going to start breaking down your ethnicity? That drives me bonkers. So what? Should I start talking about your background? But my cousin was also light-skinned. She was involved and married a dark-skinned Puerto Rican. And I was a little kid, and I witnessed in New York City, even the family on my cousin's side, didn't like him because he looked like an African American. So I experienced it firsthand with the mixed couples and how people judge. To me, it's nobody's business. That's their lives. But you always had people judging, especially back then. So I ain't with that. I'm not with that. I go to all, and I can prove it because I have videos. I go to every cultural event that I can go to in my area. I love it. Mom loves it. I love to experience the cultures, the people, the food, the music, the stories, because I'm a talker. I'll sit there and talk to people. And you know something? Been welcomed at everyone, not felt uncomfortable. They welcome you in. I've never felt uncomfortable at any cultural event I've ever gone. Except for one time when there was I don't want to say the word. He was an idiot. Mom and I and Kendrick went to it was an Indian, Native American. I forgot what it's called. I have video of it. When they do the dancing and stuff. And we got there a little early and we're walking around. He goes, "You can't be in here. You have to get out. We're not open yet." And there was people wandering around, but it was them, you know, the vendors and stuff. He was a real idiot, nasty. I didn't like that. But otherwise, the event itself was great. Powwow. Thank you. A powwow. Beautiful to see the culture on display. And I had a bison burger. And it was good. I never had a bison burger before. That, of course, I'm connected directly because of my best friend growing up, German festivals, the whole culture. I'm very close to that. I've been to Celtic festivals, Greek, of course, Italian. That's definitely. Puerto Rican, Indian. And I'm not talking about Indian, not Native American, Indian. It goes on. And I love it. Now, I don't like curry, so I don't eat the food. But other than that, I just love the culture, everything, just to experience it. You know what I mean? Bill, you have to try. Yeah, you told me about that, I think, already. Right? The music itself, music is like universal. If you could connect to the music, that's the connection right there. It establishes the connection, the music. And I just love that. If I'm driving and there's something going on the side of the road, like an arts or craft or an event, I'm stopping. Because there might be something there I like to add to the additional stuff all over the place. So yeah, so this all started with Gnarly. Meeting and marrying his wife. And I'm sure there are some idiots out there. In the past, I don't know if Gnarly ever has had that experience. But screw them. Screw their ignorance. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less what other people think or say. I love whoever I love. It's too bad. You have a problem with it? You know what I mean? No. And again, there's some people I've gotten criticized for wearing a pink cap like it represents that I'm gay. It's a gay color. CB sent me a pink shirt. I wear it proudly. I don't have those issues. And even if somebody was gay, straight, whatever, I'm going to respect them. I'm not like that. Anybody's welcomed as long as they're decent people. I don't care. I'm not judging. Who am I to judge? That's their life. That's the choices they made. I'm going to judge them by that? And judge them? I mean, seriously? No. So I ain't with that. I'm not. Bill, if you want a good laugh, look up how you say in Mandarin. Jimmy. No, nobody's saying about pushing gay shit on children. That's not what I said. But I understand your point. Pushing that out there, transgender, all that. To me, there should be a definite legal limit with that in any situation. When they are of sound mind and an adult developed mind, if they decide to do that for themselves as an adult, that's one thing. But to push it, no. But the same way, when you try to, people, let's say a kid identifies as gay, and you try to say that they have something wrong with their mind, and we're going to send them to some kind of psychological thing to get them to get out of that gayness, that's fucking wrong too. Both apply, not just one way. To be fair. So, I mean, again, there are things out there we agree, disagree, and there's definitely those points like Fringe is making right now. No, there's definitely issues with pushing a certain thing on someone. That's why I said there are boundaries. By pushing to make things be unnatural because you're pushing it. That's a definite legitimate point. But then, yeah, that's not culture, that's programming and grooming, and it's abuse, yes. In certain situations. Not all situations are alike. I'm sure people would want to believe that's to be the case. So that is a very touchy subject. But the same way, to unprogram someone who has that natural gay part of their being to try to say there's something mentally, something wrong psychologically, I'm not with that. Now, like Fringe says, to push someone, that's different. That's different. And I agree. Like the programming and all that. I totally agree with that. But that's not in all cases. But again, it also has to do with one's religious belief. There's a lot of this. That's a complicated situation in itself. But again, if somebody walks through my door that's gay, come on in. I don't have a problem with that. No problem. None at all. Yeah, that's, again, you guys keep emphasizing on the surgery on children. What did I just say? When they are of sound mind as adults and they make the decisions for themselves, that's different. Not as children. No way. They are not at that capacity mentally, brain development, to make that decision for themselves. No, absolutely not. I would even say 21 years old. I wouldn't say 18, 21. The brain, develops at 25? Fully, I think, it's 25. Even that be pushing at 21. So yeah, I'm with that. Which one? I believe in source creator, but many people don't believe in source creator. So what do you tell them? They're wrong? That's your belief. That doesn't mean that's the belief of others. And we need to respect other people's beliefs, even though it's not yours. Now you're pushing your belief on those people who don't identify with the same beliefs you do. But I agree, if that's connecting with manipulation, I mean, like I said, this is a complex topic. It's unnatural. So when you say creator, and that's another thing I think there should be a law. You should identify as what you were born as. Period. Whatever happens later on in life, if you were born a male, you are a male. And also with female. If that's the way you're born, that's the way you're identified. What you do after that point, You know what I'm saying? That I would say. And as far as having transgender in sports, I mean, that is insane. How could you have a male playing a female sport even though identifying as a female now? That's unnatural. Genetically, the makeup, that should not be allowed, period. That's crazy. So that's why I say you should be identified as what you were born as. What you do later in life in transition or whatever, that's okay, but that's what it's about. You transformed into something else. But you were born this way. I think that would get rid of a lot of the fog. Make it simple. Or as simple as you possibly can. Exactly, Being. Respect me, I respect you. I won't ever hate someone of culture, character. Again, that's why I wrote the song Boundaries. Because we all have them. When people cross over that boundary, now we have a problem. Don't cross my boundaries. I respect your boundaries, but don't cross them. Yes, Mama. Where's your phone? Maybe it's got to be charged. Bring me your phone. So again, this is one of those. Oh shit! I'm getting a message. They need my help. Fuck. It's 12:30. I still got a few minutes. Just tried to call her. This is the problem with Mom. Oh my God. He can't listen to her. This is the messaging. It's with Mom. It's related. Yeah, anytime Mom tells you anything, you got to remember, take it with a pile of salt. I read her the card. I gave her the card. She doesn't know where she put it. She ate the pistachios. So that's bizarre. All the things you said is like, you got to remember, when you're dealing with Mom, you know.
It's not okay. It's like my.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And her phone is dead. Do you want to talk to her now on my phone quick or no?
Okay.
All right, hold on.
I'm in the Home Depot.
Oh, you are? Are you getting the stuff?
Well, I put the car. I'm about in the garden area, about to enter. I was gonna get the soil at least. Now the battery light went on that Jeep that I just picked up yesterday for a muffler job, and I just called Mike. I popped the hood to check the poles, and then the positive pole is so fucking hot. I burned my finger, and I called him up and let him know about it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. It's not supposed to be that hot.
No.
The negative was wasn't even warm. When I touched the positive, it's like there's too much current going through there.
Wow.
Something's off. He says, well, if the battery light comes back on, bring it over. But something's definitely off. That's why the light went on, and there's too much current passing through the pole.
All right,
Yeah. So anyway,
let me get the phone to her with you, because I know you're busy. No, it's all right.
I had the feeling something she probably didn't remember.
Yeah.
She says, but the thing about it, the necklace,
I have that. I have that on top of the TV. It's still in the box. It's right here. The necklace and the box. She didn't see it yet. No, not yet. No, not that. Here, Katie. How could you say you don't know what to find when I read it to her? And the pistachios, okay? All right. That's solved. I told you. It was... A message came in. That's the way it is in this house. Let me put more wood in my fire. It's cold in here. Okay, let's see what's going on. Yeah, that's true. Astro, about boundaries. Until you come across those that think their boundaries count and yours don't. Absolutely. But that's like anything else. You can talk all you want to talk, but you also have to be able to listen. A lot of people like to talk, but they don't like to listen. So, again, I agree. And it's just like anything else. It all comes down to a matter of respect. That's really what it all comes down to. Respect. And agree to disagree. Respectfully. That's always been my concept and philosophy. And I will not bend on that. Because that's my way of being as an individual. And if people don't like it, do you think I care? No, because I'm not going to change from that philosophy and concept. That's me as an individual. And we all have that. That's what makes us individuals. And freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And some people take it a little too far. That's why in these times it's so sensitive when people have a discussion, because eventually it can spin out of control where people start to attack each other and talk down on each other and curse at each other and say fuck you and never talk to them again. Whether it's a friend, a family member, doesn't matter. Just think about that. There are families that don't even talk to each other, that they've supported and been with each other all their lives, whatever that life is. And because of a disagreement, these times, they totally shut them down. Especially when you're getting into sensitive topics. Especially with politics. I'd rather shut that down and say, okay, I get your point. Let's just agree to disagree. Let's move forward. But it doesn't stop there. It usually keeps going because they insist. They don't know when to stop. And then it's up to me to pull the brakes back and get the hell out of this as soon as possible. Before it turns into something really ugly. It's called restraint. And a lot of people these days don't have restraint. So, and it's also about a person's passion, again, their opinion, all that. And I get it. Yes. Totally agree, Astro. Once a debate degenerates to an argument with an ad hominem attacks, it's over. Absolutely. That's when you know. But the thing is, do you want it to get there? It's like you got to notice the little flags, the little warning signs. You know where it's going. You know where it's going. You don't want to get to that point. You want to prevent it from happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, I bet you a lot of people thought that I was trying to change this topic because I've said it before that was actually real what just happened. Like I was trying to change the subject matter. No, that really just happened. But believe it or not, that would be something I would use to get the hell out of the topic. I'm not saying I did it just now because I didn't. But that would be something I would do. Oh shit, I got an important phone call. I've got to take this right now. I would do that. Nolly, some Aretha Franklin reference there. Yes, it was Aretha Franklin, Nolly. Astro, it's like Thanksgiving. It's like a Thanksgiving dinner or something. You've got the red hats, you've got the blue hats, you've got purple hats, you've got all kinds of people. I mean, look at my cap. If I wore this, and let's just say I had people coming over for Thanksgiving, they see this year. Oh, interesting cap, Bill. Some may love it, and some are like, really? So do you think I'm going to wear this cap for Thanksgiving? I don't think so. No, because it's going to start shit as they enter the freaking door to come in the house. How many people have you seen with this cap yet? Probably not many, right? So you see where I stand. Probably one of the first few people that are doing stuff like this. But that's my opinion. And you know what? I'm going to wear it whether people like it or not. Period. It's not going to stop me from wearing the cap. Now, I don't know how I would feel going to a concert in the city wearing this cap. I don't know how that would fly, but do you think I would give you know what? No. I'm not going to wear this cap. I'm going to wear the cap of the band I'm going to see probably. But if I'm say I'm bike riding in New York City like I do all the time. Not all the time. Maybe twice a year. Or maybe once. I wear the cap or I put it in the backpack because I don't want to wear the helmet the whole time. I'll put the cap on. Now, do I want to be sending out this message in New York City necessarily and wearing this cap? Especially in certain areas where I would say the vast majority are liberals. But at the same time, it might make them think, do I want to do that? Do I want to draw attention to myself in like a situation like that? I don't know. Now, I'll tell you this right now. If I'm going to like an event, like a 4th of July thing, I just might wear it, even though I'm probably going to wear something related to United States in general. But I don't have a problem wearing this. Some people that are watching might have a problem with that. That's fine. I respect it. I respect your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Bean says, Thanksgiving is anarchy. That's why I love it. Food fight. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's too funny. You mean to hear one of your craziest songs with no, absolutely not Nolly. That would never happen. Never. I've dropped people who threw out family overviews. End of the day, family is family. Agreed. They were there for you. Absolutely. Agree to disagree. Not throw them out forever. I totally agree. Totally agree. And if things went wrong, try to mend the fences somehow. Don't let it just go on forever like that. If things didn't work out for some reason between family, or they may not do it, but I would take the high road and make the attempt to create peace. If peace cannot be mended, made up, whatever, at least I tried. At least I tried. At least. And I can live with myself with that. At least I tried. That's all. That's all you can do. It's almost like saying, take the high road. I hate to put it this way, but God forbid something happens to that person and you never had the chance to do it. Is that guilt? Are you going to be able to deal with that? That you didn't try? For some people, it may not bother them. But at least I want to try. God forbid. God forbid. You know? I'm a very stubborn, impatient person. But it's like I have to fight that within me to not be stubborn. Do you know what I mean? Or impatient. So it's almost like I'm battling with my inner self. That's just being honest. It's not easy. It is not easy. But I am not one of those people thinking that I'm right, everyone else is wrong, because I know I'm flawed and I'm not right all the time. But there are people out there that refuse to admit when they're wrong. Absolutely. I'm not one of those. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Simple. It happens. But, sometimes you're dealing with people that refuse to admit if they're wrong. They're never wrong. No matter what you say, and you might be right, and they're wrong, but they'll never admit you're wrong. And then what does that turn into? It gets ugly. Because some people refuse to admit they're ever wrong. And there are some people that think that you can't change your mind. What's wrong about changing one's mind? Opinion about something. What's wrong with that? It's evolving. It's information. It's knowledge. Nothing wrong with that. You can change your opinion on something based on new information. But some people won't even do that. You know what I mean? So, we can break this down into so many different ways. I'm eating a Swiss roll. It's the first thing I ate all day. And I've been up since early. Another thing too is, like, when I first moved here 20 years ago, I had comments coming from neighbors, judging who we were. And me, Mr. Friendly, I would go to my neighbor and say, hello, how are you? Blah, 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 introduce myself. If you ever need help. Right away, the instinctive thing is, who the hell is he? Secondly, what is his intentions? Why is he being so friendly and asking if I ever need help? But over time, as you get to know each other and establish a relationship, then it changes. Hopefully for the better. That's like getting married to someone quickly without even living with them, and then you go to live with them and you find out, oh shit, this is not what I expected. And then you get to know the real person who you're dealing with. It's not like just like going on vacation with someone or going to eat dinner with someone. You're living with them, and now you see how it is to live with the person. You didn't really get time to know the person, and you rushed into it maybe. And now you're like, oh shit, what did I do? That's just an example. You know what I mean? It takes time. In my opinion. Oh my God. Astro, you almost made me choke. Astro in Rumble says, you're so right about you not being right because 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do. I like that. Oh my gosh, you just made me almost choke on my Swiss roll, dude. And I don't mean to get into this. I don't know how the hell I ended up getting involved in this conversation, but And that's why I like this man to be the next president. Because I really think, I don't care what party you're part of, you may not agree with his political views. I think this is a man that, if you just listen to him, without judging and being biased or partisan or whatever the hell it is, really just give the guy a chance, you'll be surprised. You might actually like a lot of the things he represents and will do. I truly believe this because he's a moderate. Rubio's a moderate to the core, even though whatever, he's a moderate. Look at his past record. Even Democrats support him in some instances. I always bring up the 99-0 in the confirmation hearing. He was like a no-brainer. They knew he was qualified. Whether they agree or disagree with him, they knew he was qualified for the position. I don't think that's any doubt that anything was questioned there. And I also think he is a person that can create compromise and have parties work together and move the country forward. I truly believe that. And I think a lot of independents, which is important, will back him. And he's younger. The Hispanic community is going to probably rally behind him. The younger voters are going to probably come and rally behind him. That's just my opinion. I would like to see him be given the opportunity. That's again, this is just my opinion. And that's why I support him. And for other reasons. His character, his demeanor, his experience, his intelligence, his sense of humor. His way of, his presence of control, his passion. When necessary, you could tell his tone changes. That's coming from his passion, from here. That's not like make-believe. That's not like he's making shit up. That's coming from inner core. So there's a lot of attributes I like in Marco Rubio. There's a lot. That's why I support him. As an independent. Not as a Republican. Not as a Democrat. I identify as an independent. A moderate independent. And he's got my vote. Right now. If it happens. It's as simple as that. Anyway, Navy Mom, have a great one. Tell your son we send our love. Definitely, please, send on behalf of all of us that we send our love and we send our support to all of them. I also need to jump off because this is not an escape clause. I need to get ready to do this show for them at 2 p.m. And I still got things to do here before I even attempt to do that. So there's stuff I need to do too. Before I go, is any word of Tusi or anything going live? Anything? I know Goldie's probably live by now. Let me check. Any news on Tusi? Armin is still live. Actually, Goldie's live with probably Armin. Let me check Tusi. Nothing yet. Nothing scheduled for Tusi yet. Anyway, if I upset anyone, I apologize. It wasn't my intention. But it was, I think Gnarly's the one that got me off on this. And Gnarly, love to you, your wife, your son, everyone out there, same thing, love to everyone. 006, Astro Fringe, everybody that's watching Witch Moon, everyone that's watching on Rumble and YouTube, and I don't know about Facebook, have a wonderful day. If we get anything, please, Danny in Croatia. Can't forget about Danny in Croatia. If we get any news, if I'm gonna keep an eye tonight. If anybody comes back later tonight, if you have a live stream feed of what's going on in China, please find it, save it for later so you can send it to me. If you hear anything, let me know. Some of you know how to reach me. Because I would love to see that happen in real time with the president and Xi at that location. And just absorb it all in. Because that's historic. It's not just because they're meeting, because of the location itself. As someone indicated, it's never happened before at that location. So let's keep an eye on that for tonight. And they're going to go in, they're going to meet privately, they're going to have an interpreter, but maybe they'll say a few words as they come out. Maybe there'll be a couple of mics set up there where they make a few comments after the meeting. So we need to observe this. Remember, it's 12 hours ahead of me Eastern. So let's say it happens at 10:11. That's 10:11 tonight. Or if it's noon there tomorrow, it's midnight tonight here. So we have to keep an eye on tonight. I'm going to do that, Nolly. I'm going to do that. But we definitely need to, and not we, but I, and maybe some of you, we need to keep an eye on this. Because this is really important. I mean, you're talking about the two superpowers. How much more important does it get? And everything that's going on in the world. And to hear if they make any comments. To me, this is very important. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, be well, be blessed, be safe to everyone. My love to all of you and your families and everyone you care about and everybody out there, no matter where you are. And if you ever come to New York, let me know. I don't care. And if you ever come to New York, and if you're from another country or something, you're cooking. I want to try your food. That's part of the cultural exchange. How's that? CCTV is fun. That's right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Gnarly. Absolutely. I didn't even think about that. Duh. Of course. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Emmanuelo. I'm probably saying that wrong. You have a great day too. Of course they have nuclear weapons. Anyway, love to all of you. See you later. Have a great one. I'll be back tonight. Keep an eye.